Hey there, it's Andrea with Go Diaper Free. I'm going to record episode number 113 of my podcast right now, Signs versus Signals in Elimination Communication. What's the difference and do they even matter? So let's go ahead and do that now. Welcome to the Go Diaper Free podcast, where we're all about helping you stop depending on diapers as early as birth. I'm your host, Andrea Olson, author and mom of 5 babies, all EC'd from birth, all out of diapers by walking. This is episode 113, Signs versus Signals in Elimination Communication. What's the difference and does it even matter? So you could read the written version of today's show over at godiaperfree.com/113, where I will link to anything I mentioned in today's episode, which does have a few mentions of other podcasts to listen to about signals, which is a hot topic. And I'll also be replying to comments over there, so come on by when you're finished if you have any questions about what we talk about today. So I usually define an elimination communication signal as the baby doing something that the parent notices and offers the potty around, usually resulting in a catch. So it is one of the 4 roads to potty time based on what I teach, one of the frameworks in my book. And the 4 are baby's natural timing, baby signals, parent's intuition, or generic timing, like common times when babies need to go, transition times, ins and outs, things like that. So baby signals, often people think, well, I can't do EC because my baby doesn't signal at all. But they could be showing signs that they need to go to the bathroom. And I do consider that signs are signals. And it can get really confusing, but somebody actually recently mentioned that some signals are actually signs. And it did get me thinking. So let's define both of those now and talk about whether it matters. I'm going to give you examples of both of them. And most importantly, today we're going to talk about how it can help you potty your baby with more success today. So first of all, signs. So your baby shows a sign that they need to go. This is body language or a mood shift or something that indicates it's time to potty. A signal is more looking to you directly and communicating that they need to go to the potty and need help, or looking to you directly while giving an obvious sign. That's kind of like a hybrid sign and signal. Signals are direct communication and signs are more things that you notice that are happening. So as far as signs, here's some examples. Shifting from moving a whole bunch to getting really still, from stillness to moving. Pushing or bearing down is actually something if they're not looking at you and doing it and going, oh, I need to go, but they're actually just in their own world or swinging on the swing or laying on the ground and they're just start to push. That's a sign. Squatting when they're a little older. Hiding when they're a lot older. Moving to the bathroom, so walking to the bathroom and going into the bathroom is a sign because they're not actually saying, hey, you come with me to the bathroom, which would be more of a signal. Touching the mini potty, so it's out in the living room in your play space, which I highly recommend doing EC with that in your space. And they go over and they touch it and start to play with it. That can be a sign. But if they grab that mini potty and they bring it to you, that's more of a signal. Hopefully that makes sense. Passing gas is a sign, that they're like, just something's going on down there. It's a sign. If you're paying attention, you'll notice it. Getting hyperactive, especially with an older toddler. Staring blankly into space. So that's the opposite of hyperactivity, right? It's kind of like moving to stillness. Another sign can be a smell. Like you're like, gosh, I really smell poop. But you look and there's nothing there. And you're like, well, I don't know what I'm smelling. But it's not necessarily like they made that smell to signal to you that they need to go. They're not using smell as a communication. I mean, maybe on another level. And a phantom pee is also a sign. So if you've got your baby in a baby carrier and you're wearing them and you feel like they've wet you or you're carrying them around and you feel like you just got soaked, but you didn't. It's their bladder warming up and your body feels that in their body. And that's a sign. And that could be a signal from their body to your body, but not in the direct kind of face-to-face communication style that I'm talking about. And then signals are more like looking to you and signing potty, the T shaking, or patting their chest if that's your signal, or pointing at the bathroom or crawling to the bathroom while looking at you or pushing down, bearing down while looking at you like, hey, hello, you see what's happening here? So there's an attempt at directly communicating with signals. So a lot of parents will give up on EC before they really even start because they don't see any signals. They don't see their child looking directly to you and communicating about it. Usually they're starting with a mobile baby or a toddler who is on to bigger and better things at this point. So I highly encourage you, if you think that you don't have a child who signals, to also expand your horizons to the signs. And I do have a download of the 4 roads to potty time, and I'm going to make a note of that right now. I'm going to include that on the show notes. So go over to godiaperfree.com/113, and you can download that PDF for free. But it basically gives you a list of all the possible signals, including signs. I consider all the signs and all the signals I just mentioned, plus everything else that I've learned over 5 babies and hundreds of thousands of you, I consider them all signals. I'm going to call them all signals. I'm going to keep it really simple. The takeaway is that any sign or signal counts. It's all communication, whether it's direct or indirect. It doesn't matter what you call it. Don't overthink it. It's all communication, whether it's direct to you, indirect, and you're just picking up on it, subtle, intense, verbal, nonverbal, all of it counts as information of, I'm actually going to go potty my baby right now because they're definitely, or their aura or their body or their energy is telling me something, right? So some people think their baby doesn't signal, but they're always giving signs. Babies are giving signs about things all the time if you can just learn how to read them, which I can definitely help you with if you don't have my book. And if your baby doesn't signal, oh, wait, by the way, babies will also start to signal directly to you once you pick up on their signs and you start to teach them how to signal. So you can look at episode 47 of this podcast, read it, listen to it, watch the video to teach your baby how to signal. Episode 27 is about signals, stopping, starting, and changing when they shift, what to do about that. Sorry for hitting the mic. And then number 80 is, what do you do if you find no signals and no patterns during observation time? What do you do then? And by the way, you can totally do EC with the other 3 roads to potty time, natural timing, common transition times, and intuition, without any signals ever. But what I'm trying to tell you today is that your baby's always giving some sort of sign about their state and their energy and everything else. And the best way to connect to those is to put your baby in, my favorite is the Beco Gemini. Put your baby in a Beco Gemini. Baby carrier, walk around. I'll link to that as well in the show notes. The Beco is amazing. You can use it from absolute newborn with no insert or anything. Walk around, be with your baby that close for several hours of every day, and you will get a lot better in touch with signals and signs. First signs probably, and then those turn into signals, and then you're looking at each other, and when they give you that sign and they pass gas and you look at them and you go, hey, do you need to go to the bathroom? And then they start to, like, this communication loop starts to form, and it's a beautiful thing. I highly recommend don't give up. If you're like, I see no signals, that's fine. So hopefully today's episode has helped you a little bit. Definitely watch one of the other 3 episodes to learn even more about signals. I also have a YouTube video about signals. It's called Signals 101. Definitely look at that video as well and download that PDF that I have over on the show notes so that you can see all the examples of possibilities. And if anybody ever says, well, they're not actually signaling to you because that's just a sign, it's the same thing. I'll take it. Whatever it is, we're going to work with that. It's good information. We offer the potty. If it works, great. We note that in our head. If it doesn't work, great. We note that in our head. Constant learning. EC is a beautiful thing. I want to know now, what is your baby's current sign or signal? What is it? Please go over to the show notes at godiaperfree.com/113 for all the links for all things I mentioned, but also to answer that question, what's your baby's current sign or signal? Just pop it really briefly, really quickly into those comments, and we can kind of get, well, maybe there's a new one that we haven't listed on that download over there. Who knows? Till next time, happy potting, y'all. I'm Andrea Olson, and you've been listening to the Go Diaper Free podcast at godiaperfree.com, and I'll see you next time. Wow, my lips got really dry doing that one. It is so winter. Okay, so let me know what's your signal, what's your sign down below, and also what do you think? Do you think a signal is the same as a sign, or a sign is the same as a signal, or do you even care? Are you completely confused now? Do you have questions? Write them in the comments, and we'll help you out. Hit the bell and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.